definitely more men are romantics than women, which goes against the popular narrative of society. But in reality, who makes the love songs? It's men. Who makes a lot of the literature? It's men. Like, this stuff is generally targeted at men. Like, even think about the teen movies, like the 2000s or 80s or whatever you have it, of high school movies. It's always like a bit of a nerdy, shy guy, and he likes this girl who seems right out of reach. You know? Like Perks of Being a Wallflower, that type of stuff. And it's quite clear once you understand that men are the ones that give gifts, women are the ones that receive them. So of course, who doesn't want to receive gifts, right? Of course. But it's mostly men that are the ones that actually make those gifts. The presence of a woman is a gift in and of itself, or whatever garbage excuse they would use. Though some women are nice, and they'll make a bit of banana bread or something like that. But really, if you're a romantic man, it's difficult out there for you, because the closer you get with somebody, the more they'll want to pull away from you, right? So it's basically this, it's like inverse of what it should be. But it makes sense if you think about it, because the closer and more attached you are to somebody, the more that they will perceive that you don't have any other options, which makes you less valuable in their minds, right? It's the same thing for friends. If you're really desperate, if you're like, hey man, can we hang out? Hey, can we hang out? Hey, can we hang out? Most guys aren't going to want to hang out with you. It doesn't mean like always. And guys are a bit more lenient with it than women, but if you're too attached to somebody, they're naturally not going to like you as much. And it's, again, 10 times worse with women. That's why they have a term, they call it like love bombing, I think, where, if you were to bring flowers and stuff on the first date, again, they say they like all this stuff, but if you did that, most girls, unless you were literally Chad, would be repulsed by you. Most things that are considered gentlemanlike, and women complain that men don't do them, literally, the men that do them get ridiculed and made fun of, because it's seen as they're overcompensating. Oh, why are you doing that? There must be something wrong with you. Now again, not every woman is like that. There are some women that are good, but they're becoming increasingly scarce. And it really is tragic. I saw like 5 minutes of a live stream the other day from this streamer. Someone had put it on the TV. I wasn't really paying attention, but I looked and I saw only for about a couple seconds, but there was a girl in the stream, and she went to my high school, and I had a bit of a thing for her, and it all came rushing back to me, and I remembered everything. And I have a lot of positive memories associated with that, but there are also some negative ones too. I'll probably tell you guys the full story another day, but it was crazy. But then I thought to myself, it's like, wow, I'm thinking about her right now, but when's the last time she thought of me? It's probably been a very long time. And even if she had, it was definitely a passing thought, right? There was no lingering. She doesn't place any emotional weight and emphasis on those memories, or at least not 1/100th of the weight that I do. That's not to say, again, that all men are like that. And I do think a decent part of it is essentially a cope, right? So it comes from lack of options. So if you're a woman, you have a lot of different options, so you get over guys very easily. But if you're a guy, especially in the modern age, you don't really have as many options. So one woman can mean significantly more to you than one man does to a woman. But I do think that it's more than that, It's because I personally love the story. I like the romantic story. I don't think meeting at a dating app or meeting at a club is romantic. You know what I mean? Like, that's terrible. Imagine telling your children 20 years in the future or whatever, that you met their mother on a dating app and she went out with 10 other guys before. Like, dude, come on. I think when you meet a woman, it should be kind of random. It should feel like fate, like two paths crossing. You know, it should feel like it was supposed to happen. Even if it wasn't, even if there is no orchestrator, it should feel like there is, because you should both feel like each other are special, are one of a kind. And if you don't feel that way, how can you really be in love? It's not love if you're waiting for a better option, right? If you're like, oh, this'll do for now, but I'm gonna swing off this later. They call it monkey branching for women. It's like, what the hell? That's not love. You know, I'll get this beta bucks for now while I'm searching for Chad. It's ridiculous. You know, and everything is vanity now. It's all superficial. Men are very superficial too. But at least we're honest about it, right? And I think the thing is also for men, it's more so that if you cross a threshold of looks, men aren't as picky about looks as people think. They're actually less so if we go off dating app statistics, right? But I generally think, like, take a woman who's 5 out of 10, maybe 6 out of 10. 5 out of 10 meaning excluding overweight population, right? Simply like a purely average white woman that's not overweight and it's young. I guarantee you 90% of guys, if they were, you know, the last two people on earth, would fall in love with her, would fall head over heels with her. Seriously. Like, guys are not very picky. And it makes sense when you think about it in terms of gay meets, right? Men can impregnate many women. Women can only get impregnated by one man at a time. It takes them 9 months. Men, it takes what? Maybe 30 seconds, right? Hopefully a bit longer. But that's really the big difference, is that this idea that men are so picky on looks is extremely exaggerated. But I don't know, I'm going to circle back to that. Like, I think it's still very tragic that, you know, you can think about a woman so much. She can matter so much to you. But to her, you were nothing. It's crazy. You know, that girl has had at least 3 boyfriends since. And it's like, it's kind of crazy, because it's like, wow. Not that I was ever dating her. But, you know, the fact that these women, and it's like normies in general, but like these women get into so many relationships. It's like serial monogamy. It kind of is, well, it's very desensitizing, right? Your attachment is going to be broken. You're not going to be as strongly bonded to the person. And it's like, imagine finding out that your girlfriend has had like 5 boyfriends within the span of the past 2 years. It's like, doesn't that kind of make you feel a certain way? I don't understand how any guy could be okay with it. Yet most guys are. Most guys cope. And they're like, well, at least it wasn't 6. It's like, okay, bro. And I kind of feel for you, because obviously most guys can't get what they want or can't get the ideal. And so you basically have to convince yourself that, no, this is what I want. This is what I want. Because, you know, the current market is giving you a price. You're going to have to take it. It's pretty brutal, but it's the same thing as, like, if you're a business, right? If you're selling oil and the oil price is absolutely tanked downwards, well, you still have to sell your oil, you know, because you have storage. You have to sell it at the market rate, so you might actually be losing money. a lot of these oil companies, like, they're so fluctuating in their profits is absurd. But yeah, women don't care about men the same way that men care about women. And you know what? I'm tired of pretending like they do. It's very sad. And if you care about women in that type of way, where you really love them, you want to protect them, you think they're like innocent and beautiful, well, you're basically going to get slapped in the face over and over again. The more you care about people, generally, the more they want to stay away from you. That's why in the modern age, everybody's kind of trying to play the game of who cares the least. I know it's cliche and it's commonly said, but it's definitely true. Because, like, if you look up dating advice, they'll be like, oh, make sure you don't respond right away. It's like, what the hell? Why can't we respond right away? And I understand it builds up the desire because it's that anticipation. But, it shouldn't work this way. We shouldn't have to lie, because what that is lying. You know what I mean? Like, if you see the text on your phone and you don't respond, it's fine to not respond for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. But if you intentionally are waiting hours and you're not doing anything else, and I know most people are not doing anything else. Why? Because most people have like 6 hours a day of screen time on their phone. So I know you saw the message. I know that you're ignoring it. But we're all kind of dealing with it, And I don't know, because it is fun in some ways, because it's exciting, because it makes you anxious of that state of uncertainty, of not knowing. And fun is important, but I think what's a lot more important and what's a lot more fun is that security of two people who actually care and love about each other. Honestly, to everybody who thinks this way, if you're a romantic type, I wish you the best 100%, but I'll say prepared to be continuously let down by this world. And hopefully we can hope it all works out in the end. I'm not so sure. But at the end of the day, know that your ideas, your dreams are noble. Okay? Like, women shooting them down does not make you a bad person. It's ridiculous. I think I said that in another video, but I'm repeating it again. Oh, another thing before I end it is that on Twitter, there's been arguments recently, women being like, oh my gosh, it's so horrible when your guy friend reveals that he likes you, and it's like, oh my gosh, like you like, oh my gosh, it's like throwing away a friendship. It's so horrible. What the hell is this mindset? First of all, these women don't want to be cold approached, right? Of course they do, but they only want you to be above a certain PSL, obviously, to cold approach her. But they go and they complain about being cold approached, right? They say, oh my gosh, you only want me for my body. And then, if you make friends with them, and over time, you develop feelings for them, and even if you had initial feelings for them, you like them based upon how they look and on their personality. Because you wouldn't be friends with somebody if you didn't like their personality, obviously, right? So you've kind of built this up, and you are proposing to her, and you're extending your feelings out, and you're saying, hey, over time I've gotten to know you, and you're the most wonderful, most beautiful person ever, and, would you like to go on a date with me? And these women will be like, ew, gross. What the hell? It's ridiculous. Like, it's not bad. It's actually good. It's what you said you wanted. This guy likes you for, obviously, the way you look, but also your personality. Of course, people like you based on how you look. Women like men based on how they look too. In fact, even more. But it's ridiculous. They essentially want to be loved for no reason, and they want the guy to do it to have a bunch of options, but choose her for no particular reason. The funny part is, this girl will end up going on a dating app and looking for the most handsome guy she can find, when there is her friend, who she's known for years, you know, who she has a deep connection with, and she's been flirting with this whole time, says that he likes her, and she'll be grossed out by it. Honestly, it is ridiculous. It's outrageous. That's why it's funny to me that sometimes that advice of like, oh, ask her out, bro. Yeah, you got that, dude. I also made a video on that one if you guys want to check that out. Some kid got brutally rejected at school. But it's terrible advice because there are some situations where you know that you'll be rejected. If you're one of the nerdy kids and you ask out the most popular girl in school, it's not a 1% chance that she'll say yes. If she says yes, which is like probably super, super low chance, but if she says yes, it'll be out of pity. There is approximately, of course there always might be a little bit, approximately 0% chance that she will actually like you, okay? It's almost impossible. And that's the issue with a lot of these guys, is that a lot of you, it's not a coin flip whether she'll like you or not. It's that she definitely doesn't like you, and you should either keep the friendship if you like the friendship, or cut it off if you don't, right? If it hurts you to have her around constantly, then you should cut it off. But to all my romantic men out there, I'm sorry. Listen to Radiohead, listen to Jeff Buckley. You know, there's a million more. But listen to emo music and crash out and be sad. Feel the full range of emotion, and that's the way that we cope. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.